everybody. I'm doing a session for a client, so I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in booking a session, you can do so at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today, and I want to thank you for sharing with us here on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to read your goals out loud, and then I'm going to get started. So you say, can we bring in my spirit guides and spend this hour session focusing on healing my eyes/sight? Okay. Bring in spirit guides and work on healing your eyes/your sight. So I'm translating this as a physical thing, but we'll keep the door open, okay? Interesting. When I tap into your goals, I mean, there's definite energy activation around the head, the whole head region. And it's almost like if I could draw a photo, like a picture, take a picture, draw a photo. Okay, so if I could do that, there would be this like energy beam that's sort of closer to the front and then booming upward with this light. And it's kind of suctioned around your face, kind of tight, like really tight on there, okay? And then there's also this sort of energy circulation going on with the heart. So somehow we've got heart energy, and then we have this like energy here, energy around the face, is what I'm experiencing for starters. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Okay, let me see. Everything is dark. And I can't breathe, and a lot of my meaning has dropped into my sacral chakra and root, but it doesn't feel like effervescence. It doesn't feel joyful. I mean, it just feels like everything just dropped in a way that I feel sluggish. I feel long gone. I feel even like I'm walking through a purgatory, like a timeless space where I can't really find my path, nor am I exactly looking for it. I'm just like a wanderer of an infinite sort of gloomier space. And they really want to focus on the experience of I can't see, okay? And part of it is I don't want to see. I'm choosing not to open my eyes. I'm choosing not to see. Abbey, see. There is a sort of, I don't know what I'm supposed to define as a miracle of bright figures that are kind of, let's say 30 feet above where you're just wandering around an infinite. It's not a void. I mean, there's energy here. There is meaning here, even if it's not, we're celebrating. I mean, it doesn't feel like I won the lottery, okay? But there's all these wonderful golden beings, and they're different colors. I mean, there's gold. They're different shapes. They're different appearances. It's not easy to describe. I mean, this one looks kind of like he's a statue, and he's a statue of a golden bull. Okay, a bull. And then there's another one that is, it looks like a white furry goat, ultra white furry goat that is a humanoid figure, absolutely gorgeous feminine energy standing here. I mean, it's phenomenal. And then there's other colors, like this is a blue, really, really intense blue, like a dark, deep indigo blue, okay? And I want to say it reminds me of a blueberry, but it's kind of a squished person, and so the middle is sort of squished out into this inner tube, like midsection, and it really radiates this like super intense indigo. And then there's a green person here, okay? So we've got golden, white, indigo, and green. The green person, I mean, what do I want to parallel this to? All right, let's just say there's a U shape, and then slightly taller than what is the U shape, there is an upside down triangle, okay? And the triangle is made up of 3 sections. So there's 3 triangles inside of the bigger triangle, okay? And then there's a U shape. And this radiates green in every direction. And inside is this, okay? And these miracles are watching over you as you're choosing to keep your eyes shut in this purgatory. And these miracles also remind me of glitter. Like if it could snow, like big beautiful snowflakes, but it's like pockets of fluffy glitter. And it's magical. It's magical as all get out. I would love to see this falling from the sky in here. It would just be so worth participating in that experience. Like you're gonna have to choose to open your eyes to get the ball rolling here, to activate something new. You're gonna have to work on this. And I will say that while we're looking at a spirit realm dimension, this is impacting physical eyesight. This is influencing physical eyesight. It's not all about psychic sight. It is influencing physical eyesight. If some subconscious part of yourself is experiencing its reality like this and it's influencing physical sight, it doesn't want to put its energy into its eyes. Therefore, it's going to influence you as a human being, not fully aware that you have a part of yourself that doesn't want to put its energy into its eyes. So it's always going to have a bit of a shutter closed, okay? And so my guides are talking to me about how eyes, like if you were to stop and just really think about this for a minute, we open our eyes and our eyes are interpreting so much information in a single moment, like so much information. We don't have to wait, and it's not like dial up, like it's slowly appearing here. Okay, I'm starting to see more detail, slowly but surely. No, it's like instantaneous all over, like everywhere I look, instantaneous, there it is, you know? And it's processing so much incredible information instantaneously. And so your eyes are, in a way, absorbing information through them where the mind processes this. And so we need to encourage this aspect of yourself to want to participate in absorbing the gift of sight in order for it to influence you to enhance your own physical eyesight, okay? You are shutting out your hearing as well, so you're not necessarily wanting to hear what I have to say. It's funny because I'm sort of like this levitating announcer talking about everything that I see, and you're here to hear what I have to say, and you keep your head down and ignore me. So that means this part of you does not choose to change. And it doesn't want to be influenced to change either. It's pretty sure, pretty confident that this is its comfort zone, and then this is the way it's going to be. And my guides are telling me that I'm going to have to basically project my consciousness into this one who's just a wanderer, okay? So I'm going to project my consciousness into you. We'll get into your guides here. Your guides, these miracles? Probably, but I don't know for sure. And we'll explore this more, okay? But let me see what happens when I project my consciousness into your consciousness. Oh, it's a calamity, and it's very condensed. It's very stiff. It's very layered in there. It's like sedimentary rock, like the layers of time, you know, compacted down to create this extraordinary mountain full of time and these layers of time, you know. So it's all compacted in there. It's not easy to just break this down. But there's a major discomfort, a major I don't want to say, I guess, calamity that inspired this. But it doesn't necessarily feel like a boom or a war over a very long period of time. It feels more like a rip that didn't get healed, and then tried to heal itself again and again and again, and it just never did. And then it just continued to compact and compact what is like layers of scab, okay? And it's not healed yet. I mean, this is still not healed. And you're basically a walking, unhealed scab. Maybe you don't believe you can be healed. Man, I'm telling you, this is going to break down the emotions here. I feel it coming. I mean, I feel I feel it happening. You know how all this stuff just dropped into these lower chakras? It feels like things are wanting to kind of come upward. And it's very vulnerable, I will say. Very vulnerable to the emotional body. Very vulnerable. Just, I say it's safe. Let's just talk about it however you want to talk about it. But let's get there. Let's get there, okay? Because you're choosing to kind of give me the lower eye, look from the side, you know, not a whole lot of acknowledgement, but you are acknowledging me. And you are basically silently telling me, please, I don't want to feel the emotional suffering of this. So please, I don't want this. And so I tell you, we'll work through it. It does feel a little like it's going to be a lot, but you'll find it's not as much as, you know, you're worried about. Let's just start with some basics, okay? Why don't you open your eyes just a little bit and then look into your solar plexus chakra with me. Let's just look into your solar plexus chakra. And let's just talk about some little baby step details, okay? A little bit, tiny little bit details. What can you tell me? Oh. You say, okay, there is a wall, and the wall has some portions of compacted sand. If you stick your finger in, it starts to move some of the sand out. But if you were to put just a finger into this wall, there is extremely painfully sharp spikes. In just a little bit of putting this finger into the wall, the sand comes out and it reveals incredibly sharp spikes. Almost impossible to tolerate. I mean, you would die if you were to try to move your body through a space that would be like this. These spikes would go completely through you and you would die. And I show you to just literally take your finger and push it down on the spikes and then hold it there for a moment. Because this is an energy space. This will all disappear. And when you resist it, it's going to get worse. When you directly face it for just a split second, it disappears. Okay, when you do this, there's a shrieking female spirits. There's like 3 of them, and they're shrieking. And they behave like ghost emanations. And I see a scene where there's a massive... basically it's like a well, but expanded out to some tremendous well. And from the depths of the dark, there are 3 female spirits that are just shrieking at the top of their lungs. Like you hear really high-pitched screaming. And they're like really quickly moving out of this, okay? But it also, as they move out of this well with a massive hole, right? I mean, it just goes deep. I don't even know where the bottom of this is, and it's just overly huge. And I feel them inside of you shrieking out of your root and sacral chakra and up through your emotional gut. And they have to come through your heart, your throat, and out of your own voice, okay? They're going to have to come out of you. And there's a majorly cold chill about this. And your heart is starting to circulate what is like old rotten ground beef. And I see... whatever this grinder was rusted and it wasn't going to turn anymore. And the beef that was in there is like really old and rotten and moldy and nasty, and it reeks. It's very stinky. And somehow these shrieking women, as they come out, are forcing this rust, and it's like forcing it to move, okay? Which is a good thing. And now it's substantially better. And a lot of the sand in the wall starts to just pour out, and there's nothing holding it in place anymore. It's just pouring out into this room, which is not the same view as this well, okay? That's like a totally different space. And now I get to kind of inspect what your eyes look like, and they're really bloated and green. And they're so bloated and swollen that there's like massive pressure behind them, and they kind of pop out a little bit. And then the eyelids are what hold the eyeballs in place from actually falling out of your face. It's the eyelids that are holding them in place. This is really releasing pressure from that like energy mask around your face, starting to relax it and starting to open up your third eye more. And the next scene, you're basically being crushed in some kind of compactor. Literally, there's two mechanical like flat pieces that close really, really tight and smush everything that is inside of them. And so you're in this and you're getting smushed, okay, where everything is going to, for the pressure that you're under is going to burst you. You're basically going to pop. And everywhere, you're going to pop everywhere. And this is majorly pushing blood behind the eyes and giving you an incredible headache. And it's crushing your skull. You primarily notice it the most around your head and face. And you start to vomit out blood now out of your stomach. And you don't want to think about your lower body, just experience your head. So your shoulders would probably be the first thing that'd be crushed, but I don't experience anything of that. I just experience your head, and then vomiting blood and vomiting out desecrated organs and things like that. And this is getting pretty disturbing because you're held up by your head and your body is dangling, and the pain in your neck, the pain in your spine, the pain, it's like detaching your spine from your head. It is unbelievably painful. It is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying. So I say we gotta stick with it. We're gonna have to stay with it. Oh, it's making you vomit. The pain is so intense. It's causing you to vomit. And you're trying to not let your spine disconnect from your head. And you're dangling here, and this is got your head in place like your head is in a vice grip, and the rest of your body is now just dangling. Although I feel the desecration of organs and internal body parts. So it's starting to fade away. All this extreme, gruesome pain is fading away. It's becoming more emotional pain now. And this vice grip, this compactor is like relaxing and starting to go back. And you're falling to the ground, which you didn't really fall very far. You're just now kneeling on the ground, and you're catching your breath, and you're exhausted, and you're sort of collapsing into sleep. Your guides are all behind a black wall right now, and they want me to continue to get you to a certain vibrational plane and then open your eyes to see them, okay? You need to rest for a bit. I'm gonna let this you rest, and I'm just gonna put you in an orb and place you over there and just fill it with lots of positive energy. I'm just putting nurture, love, patience, peace, like what is timelessness that feels good, okay? I'm putting that energy in there with nurture, the feeling of being taken care of, and how nice that can feel inside your heart. Now it's a complicated path. Where we're at in all of this pathway, we're not necessarily in purgatory anymore. It's just a blubbery place. It's almost like being in a grapevine made out of blubbery grapes that are surrounding you on every side. And they're more of a dark purpley brown in color. And I'm just kind of moving through here, and it's not easy. And I'm just kind of getting blubbered through because these grapes kind of pulsate like they're part of a heartbeat. So sometimes they're tighter and sometimes they're more relaxed. So they're kind of open and closed like this. And as they do that, I move through. I get pushed through. So this is part of yourself. This is the path that we're taking in order to continue to raise your vibration and get this part of you to feel safe opening your eyes. So if we can get you to open your eyes in this energy world, that is going to make a big difference on the energetic relationship with the physical world, okay? The guides are wanting to take me now to another space. And in this space, again, it has to do with physical pain and suffering. And I see you and your arms are being held above your head, and that's all. And your arms are being dislocated from your shoulders, like the bones are being disconnected. And it's absolutely ridiculously painful. And you're basically just, you're literally... Your feet are about 6 inches from the ground, and you can't stop this from happening. And you're literally just held up. It's happening. It is happening. It's going to happen. It is happening. It has happened. It's excruciatingly painful. It's impossibly painful. And your face is covered in tears. You've urinated yourself. It just reeks of foulness in here. And you're alone in this room. And this doesn't end. This does not end. This does not end. Imagine the worst day of your life, and now imagine this. This is lasting for way too long. Are they just going to leave you here to starve to death with dislocated arms until you're dead? I mean, that's what it's like. They just hooked you up and it's left you in here until you died. That's why this part of you doesn't want to open your eyes. Because this was so ridiculously horrific. That part of the gift of sight is to see yourself in these experiences, to see the world that you're in, to see the people that create this world that is then done to you, right? You enduring it is part of the gift of sight, to see yourself in the experience. So when you don't want to see yourself in the experience, you then close your eyes so you don't have to see yourself in the experience. They show me images of a child that's really scared from a scary dream, and they're hiding under their blankets with their eyes closed, and they're just shivering and shaking. Why would you close your eyes? If there really is something scary, why would you hide under your blanket and close your eyes? It's the worst possible place for you to be. You need to open your eyes, look around, assess the situation, face it. You know what I mean? Like you're a sitting duck. If something truly terrible was there, you're screwed, you know? But that is a response, okay? It's a natural instinct. It is a natural instinct of fear to want to close your eyes in order to make it go away. And this part of you has wanted to close your eyes in order to make it go away because it was too horrific. It was too horrific to close your eyes. Then is the one way to try to escape that experience, you know? We're just sort of resting and relaxing. I mean, there is this circulating energy, and it reminds me of being at a funeral where people aren't laughing and joking. There's kind of this, you guys know that feeling, right? Where it just feels like heavy. It just feels like heavy energy, and it's blanketing us all in this like heavy energy. It doesn't have to feel that way. It just does. I mean, we could celebrate the transition of the person from the physical into the spirit realm. We could celebrate it with joy and laughter, right? But typically it's just sort of this like heavy space, and part of the, you know, you're listening to the pastor give the sermon and all this stuff. It's just all very heavy, you know? And then they sort of put the coffin into the ground, and there's just this heavy energy. So I experienced that silent, heavy energy that you can tap into at a funeral, especially when the coffin goes in the ground and you know you'll never see that person again. It's over, you know. That's the end. It's over. And so there's just this heaviness, this sinking into you. Even if you're okay, like even if you don't feel an emotional attachment to the person, you still vibrationally experience the heaviness. And maybe that's the heaviness in everybody, or the honoring of the energy of death. Something about it. And I feel that circulating through here. And it doesn't make me feel like I want to breathe anymore. It makes me want to feel like I want to take my last breath and then I myself move on from the life. And so now I'm sort of in this space of circulating death and heaviness and funeral energy, and I myself am done with my own breath and done with my life. And it's not like I want to die and go to heaven. It's like I just want to go in the ground and sleep for all eternity and never again open my eyes, never again wake up to such a horrific world as this. And I feel that your soul relates to this, like you know what this is, and that you actually went through the process of that, where you too have been put in the ground, but something in your soul's energy made a decision to remain somehow connected to the physical and to be a part of the process of never opening your eyes again and just staying in a degraded place where now you are a wanderer of purgatory, okay? With your eyes closed forever, but never really acknowledging that you have life force and the freedom to actually thrive. It's just too much, right? When you go through a very hard life like that, I feel like there's something in the human that makes a decision that the unfairness or the cruelty is just so severe, is so extreme, that it's unforgivable or unacceptable, or it's almost like it shatters your will to live even as a soul. It shatters everything. And so then your soul is removed and stays in that space of suffering. I see it, this happens all the time. You'll always be your higher self. You'll always be a part of source. But as we go through these incarnations, parts of us can stay in this node of choice. And then those parts will eventually, through incarnations, be circulated, found through circulating experiences, and pulled back into yourself, just like is happening right now. I'm helping to rehabilitate this fragment of your own soul and bring it back into you, okay? Because this part of you is necessary in order for me to do the healing I'm called to do, in order to enhance your sight, your physical eyesight, okay? I still feel this, that I might have to linger in what is going to be extremely heavy and depressing. I feel like I'm still transmuting that energy. Like, to transmute it, you just like hang out in it and you honor it by choosing to feel it. And then when you feel it, you're actually pulling it inside yourself, and then you're basically digesting it. So you feel in your stomach, right? And then you pull the energy in and you can digest it in your stomach and turn it into light. It doesn't have to maintain itself as this like terrible negative energy. It can be digested and transformed. So that's what I'm doing. But we are going to have to activate some of the heart energy to get the light, a light to be a participant in this. So let's see where we're at. I'm going to go check on the you that was sleeping, okay? All right. Nope. We're going to get to the next phase of this. And this next phase is that everything we've seen thus far is completed, which means the sleeping you has been transmuted, the funeral stuff transmuted, you being head in the vice grips disconnected from the spine, arms disconnected from the body, peeing yourself, dying, like blah, blah, blah. All the warm, gushy stuff, right? Nope, that's all transmuted. And now we're at the next level of healing of this, okay? And so let's see what the new stuff is that we're going to look at with our eyes. Let's see if we can. We're really close to the 5 miracles. Is it 5? Golden, white, dark blue, green. 4. There's 4 miracles. We're really close to them. I mean, we're within inches of them. But there's still sort of like a ceiling between where we are and where they are. And we got to break through this ceiling to reach them. Because they can't come into this space, because it's going to alter their vibrational flow. We don't want them to come down to where our level. We want to go up to their level. And that way we can all celebrate that high vibe together. They don't need to break themselves down to come to our level. We want them to stay strong and solid. We want to heal in order to rise up, okay? All right, this is the next thing. It's a very weird place. I would say that it's about 4 feet tall. And to stand in here, you have to become much smaller than yourself. And you also feel a bit disconnected again. And it's almost like you're looking through the lens of all of time. Let's say you're getting sucked into a black hole somehow. You're still witnessing the event horizon. I mean, what is that? Like, where you can see everything that ever went into the black hole and anything that will ever go into the black hole. That's what they say. It's like I'm in this strange trajectory of time. And while there's nothing really to look at as what had happened and what will come to pass, it's like there's just simply light in every direction. There's just light in front of me and light behind me, and I'm just suspended. And I feel like this has something to do with a black hole. And it has something to do with time, all of time. So my guides are going to emphasize there's a relationship with the physical here, and there's a relationship with all dimensions and all densities, okay? So everything passing through the physical, all physicalities, all densities, all non-densities, okay, all dimensions, and being a participant even for a split second, okay, even for what is like less than a blink of an eye. I mean, it just feels instantaneous, but it feels also tremendously like a tremendously long time at the same time. You're suspended and you can't get out of this. I mean, you're suspended and you're constantly in the blip of what is instantaneous and what is forever. And you're trapped in this. It's insane. I mean, whoa. I've never felt anything like this before. You can't get out of this. I can't get you out of this. You are actually stuck. I tell you to let go. Let go of everything. Just let it all go. Literally, let go of everything that was, everything that is projected to be, and just allow time to be what it is. Allow the events to be as they have been and ever will be. Like, allow it to just be. And they kind of parallel this moment. While it's kind of significantly interesting because we're talking about a black hole, you could look at just mere moments of time in your own life. Let's say you're really afraid of what's, what you're going to have to face in a couple of days. As a kid, it could be a presentation. As an adult, you know, you have to see, let's say, a dying relative and they only have a couple days left to live, and you're trying to prepare yourself for that experience before and after. You know, you're trying to wrap your head around reality and time and memory and all that, okay? So they're showing me that you can get stuck. Even though you've moved through that time, even 20 years later, you look back and say, you know, they passed away and this was my grieving process. You can still have an aspect of you that is still remaining in between the past and the future and stuck in that literally fragment of a moment. And it never really left that because it didn't know how to accept the future or accept the past, like combining. It's saying that it's like they show me a blink of an eye, but it's less than that. It's literally so instantaneous, and yet it is forever, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's inconceivably hard. They're showing me another idea here to try to explain how this could be so inconceivably hard. Imagine going through an experience where you do not have the emotion to respond to that experience. We don't know if that emotion is so angry or so extremely sad. It just maybe your soul feels completely and utterly ripped apart without any control over the experience, and you have no idea how you're supposed to go through this. You just feel like you're moving through a grinder. It can be inconceivable. It can be an inconceivable feeling that it just doesn't really compute through our body correctly. And we can resist that moment in time with all our might. Then we become fragmentedly stuck, okay? Now they're going back to the black hole experience, okay? And they show me that this isn't as if you got pulled into a black hole, but they aren't saying it's not. Because they keep showing me this is going into a black hole, and then they show me this is choosing not to exist in any time. It's not existing, and it's not conceivably embracing the events of time. It's not conceivably embracing the events of time, not having the means to make that choice. They really want me to try my best to define this, to have you consciously, there's supposed to be some sort of epiphany that comes from this at the soul level, okay? But also in your conscious mind, because it's building up something here in your sacral chakra. I feel it primarily your sacral chakra. It's just like, I don't know where the depths of this is, but it is deep in your sacral chakra, and it is associated with your soul. It is associated with infinite time, associated with your learning, but they keep showing me it's associated with a black hole as well, okay? You finally shifted, and I felt every bone in your body break. And you implode or explode, or I mean, you get sucked into a nothingness. Bam! It's like zip, instantaneous zip. There's no sound. It's like it's just zip, nothing. And now I see your soul in a blank space. There's no light here. Zero. It's white, but that doesn't mean that white represents light. There is no light here. There's no dark here. There is nothing here. So it just looks like white to me, okay? It's just a blank space. And your soul shivers at the sound of the nothingness. And you feel a bit like zombie-esque at the soul level. And you feel depressed, deeply depressed at the soul level. And you feel like you want to die at the soul level. And that you want to go through the black hole and to be extinguished. That the black hole then is the end of your soul. But there's so much like high vibrational laughter, like man, how serious. Wow, it's like so serious in here. you almost can like feel the seriousness as though it's like a liquid on our bodies, like like we're trying to wipe the seriousness off, and we're kind of being very lighthearted about it to try to get you to just like smile. And there's weird sounds like cameras flashing, and there's like, smile, you're on candid camera. It's kind of funny. Like your soul went through this impossible feat, and the heaviness of that and the impossibility of it, and you found your way through, and the way that it weighs you down to get through that experience feels this way instantaneously on the other side. And then it's like you made it. You got through the doorway. You thought it was the end, but it was only the beginning. And there's something funny here, okay? There's something very funny about it. Like, what if you thought that, like, what if you got set up, okay? And it was like a TV show that you didn't even know that you were on. And you got set up, and you had to go through this like extremely hard experience. You know what comes to me? You know Lucifer from Netflix? Dan. Lucifer sets him up. I don't know if you guys know this. It won't work if you have not seen Lucifer, but he ends up setting up Dan, this character. He had to go through this like impossible experience where he literally thought that people he loved had died, or that he was afraid for his life, and it was all a setup. Everything was a complete and utter setup. And by going through that extremely degrading and terrifying experience of sheer loss and hopelessness, once he found out that everybody was bought out and they were all playing this like incredible mind game with him, he was reborn. And it was almost hilarious to see how destroyed you could become, only to find out that nothing of it was real. And it's almost like it saves you on a level that you never felt before, and you're never the same ever again in a powerful way. And I see that this you and the blank side went through this impossible experience, and that's why everybody's there at the end to say, surprise, you know this was all just like part of the game, right? Like it was all just the candid camera, you know? And so you're a bit in shock, but you're at the moment of, wow, holy crap, I did it. And you're recalling, you're understanding, you're relating to everything with the means to relate to it. And it's actually pulling in so much meaning into your soul that you're vibrating, like into your toes, up through your soul, like you're vibrating everywhere, like unfathomably vibrating, literally throughout every part of your being, almost like you yourself are exploding into a new universe. And it's phenomenal. It's extraordinary to be a witness of this, okay? And part of you, okay, they show me that you're not quite to the exploding rainbows part. You're basically dripping into multitudes of yourself, and there's like 13 parts of you that drip. And the 13 parts become very heavy, and they start to fall down beneath this cloud level. And they're starting to fall down, and that they're stripped away from a part that then represents male and female. And the male and female experiences deep loss of oneself. And there's like lots and lots of tears. But then they show me that time collects these 13 parts, and they go through these multitudes of lifetimes, like extraordinary multitude of lifetimes, only for them to be inhaled back up into the soul as though it was just an instantaneous moment. And now as they're inhaled back up into the soul is like rehabilitated, unfathomably rehabilitated. And I see your eyes are now open, and your soul body just looks like a white body, energy body. And then you have these like eyes, almost like you're a cartoon, okay? Like this white figure with like cartoon, big oval cartoon eyes, okay? And you're looking around at everybody's face that's here, and they're all weird looking faces. Nothing looks human here. I mean, there's close to the ground and then super tall, and they're different shapes, different, what looks like bodies, what looks like shapes, what looks like random colors, what looks like anything you could think up. There's so much randomness here. And your eyes are meeting the eyes of everyone that's here looking back at you. And you feel like your eyes have been cut. You say that they're like glass that has been shattered, and you feel the cuts in every part of your physical eyes in this energy space. And I see, like a cartoon, the eyes crack like glass or mirrors, and they just fall to the ground, and you have gaping holes where your eyes would be. And there are little mice that come and collect all the glass pieces, and they start to put the eyes back together again. And there's a strange woman that has no eyes on her face, and she kind of looks like Elsa from Frozen, but she has no eyes on her face. And she's very short, she's like 3 feet tall, and she walks and she collects the 2 eyes, and then she puts them into your face. And I start to see, again, you're going through like really hard movements. Like a part of you comes out the back side, and it's made out of like dark, glitchy energy, and it's see-through, and it looks like quite a demonic form. Like it's made out of like a meatball, like it looks like a meatball body with arms and legs and a torso, and it has no eyes in its head. It has majorly sharp teeth, and it's coming out the back side of you. And then you're empty in part of your body. And you say, please, I don't want to see anymore. And your eyes cry these like shards of glass. But she picks up the glass shards, and then she holds them in her hand and turns them into light and puts the light back into your eyes. And now this you is stalled out with the white and the eyes, and this one from behind, this meatball body, kind of comes out. And you're ashamed and you're in pain, and this was too traumatic for your soul. This was too traumatizing. That's why they say we're all here. And this is where your spirit guides are. There's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beings here. And I'm supposed to say there's 800 of them here. And you don't, it's like, you look at us, look at our faces, see in our faces how much we love you. You have to choose to see in our faces how much we love you. And this meatball starts to quiver with love and starts to move back into the other body. And you become whole again. And then you start to open your eyes, but you're scared of what you're going to see. And I say, let's baby step it. This is going to take a little bit, okay? Because we're going to have to kind of take 2 steps back to move 3 steps forward. So as you open your eyes, I say, let's talk about what hurts right now. And let's explore the vision of the hurt in order to clean it out. What hurts? You scream and you say everything. And you say how tormenting and terrifying and tremendously terrible life is. To exist is. To incarnate and to exist is absolutely horrible thing. And no part of this aspect of you finds it to be meaningful at all, because it's ripped you into so many pieces and it was so tremendously painful that there's nothing that is mending that pain. There's too much intolerance. And you're angry with God about this. You're angry with your guides about this. You're angry with the existence about this. You're angry with this process. You're angry at the universe. You're angry at everything physical and non-physical. You're angry at all of it, that it would be done to you. Because you're the one that carries the burden. You don't feel that they're carrying the burden at all. You did it, not them. You did it. The individual person did it. The individual soul did it, you know? And you're splattering blood on all of their faces. Literally, you're like a scary movie, and you're just, all this blood is shooting out of you and splattering all over everybody's faces. And you're screaming about, how dare you put human beings in a grinder? How dare you do this to human beings? Rip their bodies apart. How dare you, you know? And so you're splattering all this blood and all this terror upon 800 faces of what human beings go through. The hell of what human beings go through. and you're angry and say, and you want me to open my eyes, you want me to see. Start to see that that big well is part of the eyes that were removed, okay? So they were just empty black holes in your face. And this is, you show me a scene where your eyes are actually removed and you're screaming and your tongue is literally wriggling in your mouth. And you say the pain, there's no comprehension of how to tolerate that kind of pain. It's almost like you want to separate your tongue. Like you can't, you want to separate your skin from your body. Like the pain is so intolerable. There's no the means to express it. And your guides say, but you're expressing it right now. And you're saying, I didn't want this. And you slam your fist down on the ground and it creates a rumble and a shake for us all, like we feel this major earthquake. And then you cut your torso and there's all these like little bodies that come out, and they're tiny little electrical bodies. And they're miniature souls, and there's like hundreds of them. And your guides say they want me to use the words 90 of them, okay? I mean, it looks like so many, but they're saying 90. And so they're black with like electrical outlines. And they show me the claw machine where you kind of put coins in and you can get stuffed animals. They're showing me the claw machine, and the machine holds all these bodies, okay? And they show me you, and you're opened up, and all these bodies come out. And we're gonna have to take 2 more steps back. We will get 5 steps forward, okay? All right, so you're like getting sucked into this hell, okay? Because you're intolerant of wanting to just be done with this. Because you can't accept what you went through, therefore you can't ever be done with this. You're gonna have to just accept it. That you say that it's too emotionally intolerable, and it's too intolerable at the soul level, so you have no means to accept it because it is unacceptable. And your guides show me that these little electrical bodies are kind of like our version of going number 2. Like in the physical reality, these are like your number 2s coming out, and they're all built up in your sacral chakra. And they're all like energies that need to be just digested by the universe and transformed into something new. And as they're placed into a soft and nurturing environment where they're transformed into something new, it's not like they're put into a grinder. They're just nurtured into new energy. You feel relief. And you start to blink your eyes like they're dry. And there's something being pulled out to your lower back. It's just energy. It looks like a really long sheet, like a put on your bed. It's like a really long sheet. We're just pulling it out, and it pulls down from the back of the top of your head, down your spine, and out your lower back. Everything is disappearing from this dimensional space, and you're awakening in a bed in a really high vibrational space, almost like you had the most impossible dream. It's like being Frodo going through the Lord of the Rings. Like, it's the most impossible path to be the one and only to save everybody and to carry the weight of this one ring, which is the darkest and most evil weight of them all, and try to get through the most impossible terrains. And as you blink your eyes here, your eyes blink as you recall the memories of what the paths your soul has taken. And it really cries over the weight of these lifetimes. There, oh man, you would not believe who's standing here. It's like, I know the human race, we're familiar with very specific star races, as though those are the only races in the whole universe or something, but every star race that we're all familiar with is standing here. There is a lead of each and every one of them that is standing here, and there's particularly a reptilian one that just keeps being extremely visible to me. There's also one that I've seen this persona in the movie Riddick. There's like an older woman who kind of floats across, and she glows white, and I see this as an older woman here, and she's wearing like a cloak, and she's incredibly balanced, and it's like her feet never touch the ground. It's incredible to look at her. Her eyes are like extraordinarily blue, and she's old, but she's gorgeous in her age. And these two, this reptilian and this woman, are putting their hands together, their palms together, and they're creating some kind of energy that is becoming densely physical. And it's like a black, I don't know what it is. It's some sort of black object. It's like a crowbar. Kind of looks like a black crowbar. But it does. It's really heavy. I don't know why, but just looking at the black crowbar, it's oddly healing of your spine. And the energy that flows through the backside of your soul, up and down and up and down and up and down your spine. Almost like it's prying you out and loosening you up from the weight of what is behind you now. And they want you to open your eyes to the goodness and the balance of the universe, and to see it and to reap the reward. And they show me the reason why it's a black crowbar is because not everything is going to make sense to your human mind in this life. And the most peculiar things are going to be gifted to you that you aren't going to understand how they are absolutely powerfully supportive. And you are taken care of. And I see you go back to sleep, and there's a lot of light that surrounds you. And these beings become part of that light, and there's stars, and there's really beautiful blue hues in the stars and the white. And it becomes a blanket that absorbs into your soul. And they remind you that it takes time to heal, even it takes time for a soul to heal. And they show me it takes a long time. It can take a very long time. I see a man that looks like a horse. And I mean, he literally looks like a horse in the face and in the legs. And he's extraordinarily balanced in his heart and in his sacral chakra. He particularly uses his heart energy and sacral chakra energy, and he surrounds you in this extremely heavenly bliss. And it's red hue, and it's like kind of crackled through white glow, and it's like the energy of passion. And that it's not a sexual energy, it's just literally passion, and it's heat and warmth, and it like takes your breath away because it's so beautiful. And that seeps into your soul, and it makes you open your eyes again, and you have tears that look like milk. And there's a major purge of like a congested, it's like a clot, and it's just a black, tarry, mucousy, gross splurgle that comes out of your heart, okay? And it just lands like this gross muck on the floor. And you fall back asleep. And this muck is collected and it's placed into like an incubator. And I see like a little, it's both a baby and a little boy. And then it's also some kind of other, like an alien being. It's the weirdest looking thing. I don't know how to, I mean, let's just take SpongeBob, right? But let's make it more like a bar of soap. But its body is kind of a pale peach, and it has an extremely large mouth, but its face is flat. And its arms and its legs are very similar to its face, which is one with its torso. And its legs kind of are one with the torso. Like it seems to be made out of like it has no bones. And it's looks like it's combined with a human baby and an inner child. And I see all this fading into a mist. And the mist is collected like cotton candy. And it's just like white energy that's kind of sticky. But again, it's also light. And it's part of who you are, and it's part of your soul's substance. And they're placing it within your heart. And it rebuilds your bone structure. And it rebuilds your muscles, rebuilds your nervous system, rebuilds your organs, rebuilds your brain, rebuilds your chakras, your energy body balance. And I see your eyes are being rebuilt as a part of this. Your whole structure is being rebuilt. And now that you're rebuilt, believe it or not, instead of being a density, you're turning it into a light body. And your eyes are open, and your entire body is your eyes. It's like one eye is your entire body, and you can look in every single direction, and you see clearly without any dust in your eyes, without anything, without feeling of dryness or anything. Your eye is completely clear. You guys know, like, having a backup cam when it's covered in mud and you're so used to using it, and now you can't use it because it's covered in mud, and so you get out and you like gently wipe it down and it's like crystal clear. It's like, yes, I can use my backup cam. And so your eyes are like super clear, like, yes, I can see. It's really great. You feel amazing. You feel amazing, man. There's none of that. Everything we've been through, all the finagling through it, we did it, and it's all just like washed away. And they show me like the winter when it collects all that sand and the dirt and the salt, you know, and then in spring it's just washing it all away, and the beautiful grass and the flowering trees and everything is coming to life with this like beautiful warmth and clean feeling, you know. And that's what this is. I mean, we just washed away all that stuff, rehabilitated your soul, and completely healed your eyes, man. It's so cool. It is incredibly cool. I feel like super clean eyes. I feel like, yes, yes. I feel like that right now. It's an amazing feeling. I've never felt this before, like super clean eyes that see like ridiculously clearly. It's amazing. All right. Thank you so very much for this experience. I was so excited I got to go through this with you. And thank you everybody for watching and for hanging in there from beginning to end. I appreciate all your kind comments and support of my clients and my YouTube channel. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.